I got good news and I got bad news. I'm going to start with the good news. Hopefully, that's what you wanted me to do. If you're an artist or a musician, you're already ahead of most people on this planet. I know, surprising. Musicians being ahead of other people. But I'm sure you've heard it all online. Follow your passion, quit your job, be your own boss, all these motivational videos. They're trying to get people to snap out of Babylon. You're already there. You're already following your passion. You, as a creative being in this world that wants to express itself, are actually ahead of the game, which is nice to hear, isn't it? For once, we're ahead of the game. Now, because you already have passion down packed, you're actually missing one thing, which is the bad news. You're missing a system. We need strategy. We need to get that passion to equalize sustainable income. Somehow, your creativity should be the financial bedding for the life you want to live. Passion isn't your problem. Strategies. Now, when I started with music, I was absolutely addicted to making music to the fullest capacity of my being. I would wake up at 6 a.m., have a 6 hour session, go for a nap so I can rest my ears, which I didn't really do because I would fall asleep with tutorials in the background, and would wake up to have another second session of the day quickly before my mom came back from work. I would work as much as I can on music, and it wasn't even hard. I was absolutely obsessed with making music. Passion is easy once you have passion. It's not hard work. Other people could see it as a grind, but it's actually what I wanted to do with my life. I loved it so much that I was addicted to making music. I was obsessed with doing the thing. And because I was obsessed, I got better fast, which led to me touring and traveling the world. It was absolutely amazing. Best decade of my life so far. So following that method of just focusing on music, going head in to your passion could totally work, could make you have a hell of a life. Not necessarily making a living from your music, but making a hell of a life out of music. Definitely worth a shot. And for most of us, making music can also just be enough. But what I realized, if I would only take a bit of the percentage of that passion, 10% of that passion, and put that into actually try to come up with a plan to monetize the creativity that I was already putting in the world, I would actually be in a completely different place right now. If I would have that business structure, something that would make my work compound, that turned my creativity into income, my social media could have grown with me. My business could have grown with me. I've been doing this for a while. If only 10% of that obsession would go to business, I would be in a different place. And that's what I want for you. I've changed my relationship with business in the last few years, and it shifted my life-work balance with music, creativity, and income. I want the same shift for everyone watching this video. Now, passion is easy, right? You're already doing it. You don't need another motivational video telling you to follow your dream. You're already following it. You need a framework. You need something that makes art a sustainable business. You need to understand that you don't only have a music project, you got a music business. Now, if you want, you can go through my YouTube videos, and I talked about the new roadmap for musicians. There's 2 parts to those videos. Watch both of them. I go through one of the roadmaps that envelopes the whole idea of where we are, the old model of how to make money from music, and this new roadmap that is a bit more of a holistic way of thinking about making money out of music or out of your creativity. So yeah, if you want, go check it out, completely free. Hopefully it can help. Let's go back to the video. I just want to make the point. I'm not anti-passion. Obviously, I'm obsessed with passion. That's the juice for my life. But passion alone, for most of us, is not enough. What I think we all need is these 2 evolutions in our life. One, turn your passion into an obsession. If it didn't happen naturally yet, I think that's something you need to work on. You need to dive into your passion until you are obsessed. When you're obsessed, your work becomes effortless. You don't have to schedule it. You do it because you can't not. I was obsessed with music. When I wouldn't have a session on Ableton in a day, I would be grumpy. I was absolutely addicted. I don't think it's completely healthy, but being obsessed with something will make it much, much easier to achieve the thing you want to achieve. Now, evolution number 2 kind of stems out from it. If you're obsessed with music, if your creativity just has to flow out of you, if your passion is burning, it's actually not going to be that hard to take 10% of your efforts, because it's so effortless to do the passion thing, 10% of that effort, and try to fall in love with business. You need to understand then, in order for you to have freedom on the financial aspect as well, which is one of the biggest aspects in this life, you need to work on systems and strategies that make your art into sustainable income. If you only take 10% from the passion pool that you already have in life and put it into business, you'll actually get way ahead of any other musician out there. Not that it's a competition, but considering that only 10% of us make it, you should work on doing whatever you can to be one of those people that make it. And the moment you fall in love with business, your art can stay pure, because in a way, it doesn't carry the burden of survival anymore. So if you're watching this and thinking, I'm passionate enough, but I still feel stuck, this is your signal. You don't need more inspiration. You need strategy. Turn your passion into obsession, fall in love with business, and make your creativity sustain you. If you want, you can go back and check out the new roadmap for musician videos that I've made, or any other videos to that extent on my YouTube. I'm sure there's value there that you can take for that. There's a 5-day mini course that's live now that you can grab that helps you share more on social media through harvesting the creative waste that you have from being a creative person in this world, which obviously helps your brand and business online. And hopefully by the time this video is out, check out the link in the description for the full academy where I teach people how to create more, work less, and live the good life. More about this in the next videos. Hopefully you enjoyed this one and got some value from it. I really appreciate you sticking around. Thank you.